shit. He doesn't get shit. And like literally from what I'm hearing now, I didn't watch the show. I'm not going to.
Well, it was an off-screen. Take the probably
the easy way
besides. I mean, the popular characters, of course, are always going to be like the ones that like everybody talks about. Carol and Daryl and
Carol sucks. Daryl sucks.
But I mean, when it boils down to really, for the story purposes, the core character, the most important core characters to me have always been Rick and Carl.
Yeah.
And to take easily, it's debatable with first or second and most important, whatever. But I mean, one of the most important, top two most important characters in the story. And what's to come with the Romeo and Juliet kind of parallel with Carl and the girl running off, yeah, and Lydia running off, and the two kingdoms, the Whisperers and Alexandria clashing because of Carl and Lydia, and so that is all, that's fucked up now. How are they gonna do that? And I suppose you can take a side character, but it loses the impact when it's not Carl, when it's not like the Prince of Alexandria not having it.
What are they going to do? They're going to have old Chewbacca, Daryl, frickin' boning Alpha's frickin' daughter? I mean, the fuck, But I don't know.
I just don't like Daryl. There was one scene that he redeemed himself this last season with and that's when the guy was hiding. A savior guy was hiding behind a car or something at the end, and Rick and Daryl were there, and Daryl's like, yeah, come on out. We won't kill you. We just want to ask you some questions. So they ask the guy questions, and Daryl just shoots him in the head anyway and kills him. Which I thought, that's pretty fucking cool. But other than that, Daryl is a character that really, Daryl's been getting on my nerves since like season 4 or something. So
yeah, and it's all because of the Walker Stalker motherfuckers. I mean, son of a bitch.
Oh, that's a whole culture of stuff that's popped up. That's like, it feels hollow. And it just feels like a cash grab to me. I don't know. Some people might get enjoyment out of it. I would not get that much enjoyment paying these actors $60 after I've already paid for tickets and parking and food for the day and getting in. And it's like, come on, what? Really, you get no amenities at this thing?
Yeah. Well, it's like there's a local wrestling show that's going to be happening this upcoming weekend. I was thinking about taking my kids to it. Because I'm thinking like it's a local wrestling thing at the high school, so it's not gonna be that much to get in, right? No, they have like different tier systems if you want ringside or sitting in the bleachers, and it's still like $20 a pop if you want like bleacher seats. But then if you want to get an autograph and a picture with like Kevin Nash or Scott Steiner, who are gonna be there, you got to pay $30 more. Now, I understand, like, when we went to C2E2 and they were there, you pay, they wanted some, they wanted pay for autographs. I mean, they're there to make, that's their appearance stuff. But, I mean, I would already be paying my nose just to see some local fucking wrestlers. If I want to see the ones that actually made something of themselves, I got to pay more money? I'm like, maybe I'll just stay home, let the boy play my new Super Nintendo Mini Classic. And just kind of veg out. Did I mention I found that I bought a Super Nintendo?
I think you mentioned it to me a couple of times.
Oh my god! Did I? So we went out. I thank God for tax season. So this is how great tax season was. So I got my tax return, and then like a day later was pay, and then a few days from now I get my VA check in. So it's like money's just like pouring in right now. And we went out yesterday.
So Spin lives it.
Yeah, don't even. Don't even. Nobody knows. I'm more secretive. You're like, I live in Rockford. Come on down. I'm like, fuck you, stay away from me.
Come to my house. I'm not going to do that anymore. I actually taken that video down a long time ago, but I think I gave my address out one time.
Was that was the one where you were like, come on over. We'll talk. You can sleep on my couch. But so we went out yesterday. We went to eat. And then I was like, we went to a place my wife wanted to go to, and then I was like, I want to go to Target. I want to check something, because I wanted to look for like some headphone splitters and things like that, just some little knickknacks I needed to pick up. So my son and I walked back to the video game section, and I look in the case, and they were turned to the side, so you really couldn't see what the hell they were. So I looked down, and they had two Super Nintendo Mini Classics, and I looked at my son. I was like, dude, you know what the hell this is, you know? So I went over, and my son's like, you're not going to talk to mom first? I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to talk to your mom first. Tax return came in. I'm getting my fucking my Super NES Classic, damn it. You know, so I told the guy, I want one of those, and you're going to pay it for. He's like, do you want the warranty? I'm like, I don't want no fucking warranty, because it's going to go up on my gaming, in my vault. It's going to be good. It's not going to die. It's going to be fantastic. So I bought it, and I went, and my wife's like, what'd you buy? I'm like, Super Nintendo Mini Classic. She's like, oh. Don't discuss it with your wife, huh? I'm like, you know I wanted this. There was no discussion. I would have gotten it anyway. This was not a let's think about it. This was a holy shit, I found one in the wild. Let's catch it. So I get home, and I look
That's
through...
what happened with my Ghost Rider #1. It wasn't quite as exciting because it didn't cost me that much.
So this thing...
I said, I'm getting that.
I love this thing. So I love these mini classic things because... You know, yes, I do love the original cartridges. I love getting original cartridges. But there are those games where the cartridges, because of collectors or things like that, they have skyrocketed. So on the Super Nintendo Mini Classic, you have the game Earthbound. Now, I have seen shops close by me that have in-box Earthbound cartridges that they want like $400 to $500.
That's insane, man. I can't believe how much retro cartridges go for some of those. I can't believe that one's like thousands and thousands of dollars. So
it's like a
really lame one.
Like stores want like $60 for freaking Mega Man, you know. And I'm cheap. I'm a cheap
like
bastard.
Current brand new game prices for some old game.
Yeah, which I had already, like the day before, I'd already bought my son Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, which was like $60 for the PlayStation. And I was thinking about getting Monster Hunter, but I decided to hold off on it. I will probably eventually get Monster Hunter World. It looks really good. I really do want to try that shit. But this mini classic, I mean, it's got Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Mario World, F-Zero, Super Castlevania, Super Metroid, Earthbound, Star Fox, the unreleased Star Fox 2. Which, in order to... You have to unlock that game on the system. You have to beat the first stage of Star Fox to be able to play Star Fox 2. You know, so yeah, I took 5 minutes out of my time, beat the first stage of Star Fox, and unlocked Star Fox 2. But it's got, like, Super Punch-Out, a couple Kirby games... Like, 2 Kirby games. I think they could have done with 1 and then added in, like, Chrono Trigger or something. But... So, of course, I spent 6 hours last night on Final Fantasy III, which is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time, or Final Fantasy VI as it was known in Japan. And yeah, I played 6 hours straight just playing that game last night. And my wife's like, are you getting far in the game? I'm like, well, I've played this game once a year since I owned it as a kid. I have it on like PlayStation. I have it on like Game Boy Advance. I have every
annual gameplay.
It's the annual game. That and Final Fantasy II are my annual gameplays. Although I'm thinking of doing an annual gameplay of Resident Evil 7 just because of how much I love that game. Just go back and play through it every couple of months.
I used to be like that with Resident Evil 2, and I played that 3 or 4 times all the way through.
And that's getting remade next year. That will have a remake next year.
That I hope it's done like keep it pretty much the same and maybe tweak some things. But
I think it's going to be more.
I love the way it's laid out and how it is.
I think it's going to be kind of like the way they remade the first Resident Evil for like GameCube, and then they HD'd it and they kind of remastered it for the newer consoles. I think it's going to be like that, and if they do that, then I would love to see them redo like Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Code Veronica, those games.
It was challenging, I guess. But it didn't feel like Resident Evil was the one where you're killing natives for the entire game. Like the entire game is like just killing natives.
Which one, 4 or 5?
I think it's 5.
5. You were playing as Redfield, right?
It's not Leon. I thought
Leon was number 4. Chris Redfield was number 5.
Yeah, it was 5 because I remember 6 came out and I didn't like it. It was a weird format change in 6.
6 was a lot more action oriented.
It was like split in half. It was like 2 different games or something, and it was odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5. I think 5 was the one where you go around and you just shoot like native villagers.
Yeah.
The whole game.
I checked out that show, the Frankenstein Chronicles, on Netflix the other night.
Yeah.
With Sean Bean, and I do have the counter going. I guess Sean Bean survives at least till season 2. I'm like, wait a minute,
Somebody stole my joke. I saw it on Facebook about they showed that show was going to be on, and then somebody said like the headline was, "Will Sean Bean survive the first season?"
Yeah, so I guess he does. But so I'm watching it, not really to give too much away. I thought it was like actually in like the Frankenstein universe, like he's out to get like Frankenstein, like Victor Frankenstein's creating a bunch of like bodies, and he's out to get Victor Frankenstein. It turns out that's not the case, because Mary Shelley is a character in this story, and she's already written the book Frankenstein. So it's somebody kind of mimicking stuff she did in the book. Like there's historical people in this series. It's like the William Blake, the guy who wrote, the guy who did the dragon, like the Red Dragon, like the paintings from like Red Dragon, Yeah.
How many seasons have they done?
2 seasons. There's 2 seasons up on Netflix. I mean, it's real. I mean, I like it. It's shot really well. I just kind of was a little bit disappointed. I thought it was actually going to be like he's after Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah. That's what I would hope it would be too.
Because I'm looking for new stuff to watch. I don't have cable. I'm looking for new stuff to watch. I finished Bates Motel, so I'm done with that, which kind of sucks because I love Mother. I really do love Mother, and I really wish Mother would come back to me.
I was talking to my wife about this the other day. It was like TV was completely different when I was a kid. It seemed like through the spring and summer, it seemed like that's when like it was like development months or whatever, and that like this shows would go off for the season.
Yeah.
Then like in the fall, all the shows would come on, and they'd be on like all through the year, like the rest of the year. And you'd have a new episode of things like every week. And it's like now it's like they take mid-season hiatus. It's like shows are just scattered out everywhere across the whole year.
I don't think we ever really noticed it, because when they would not have, like when they were filming new episodes, they would be playing reruns of like the older episodes. Like it would always be on. It would just be like tonight's a rerun.
Yeah.
So you never really knew. You never knew about like a mid-season or anything like that, because the show, like a sitcom, like sitcoms, they would play reruns, but there was always, you would always be like, you wouldn't know that they were not, like you didn't even know about seasons. You're just like, hey, on Wednesday at this time, I'm gonna watch Tim Allen go, So, but now with Netflix, it's like they're even doing it with Netflix, like with like Fuller House. They would do like Fuller House season 3 part 1, and you'd get like 5 episodes, and then they would come out like months later with like part 2.
I guess like the whole like how they're financed and everything is like all different now than it used to be.
Yeah.
Things have changed in the entertainment industry. It's really weird. It's like totally different. Like it's weird. It's like the whole world has changed since I was a kid, and it's really strange to see.
Here's what's really weird. So today I went to my kid's school, and I did this program where I go in and I go in the classrooms and help them like learn stuff and stuff. And it's so weird to how education has changed. Like I'm sitting there talking to the teacher, my daughter's teacher, and I'm like, I even told her, I said, I don't want to like assume anything, but you look young. I don't know how old you are, but I went to school in the 90s. My textbook was from 1954. We still thought the sun was a big demon in the sky and it was going to kill us if it saw us. We get scared when the sun goes away and the moon comes up. That's our education. Or like you said, the sky is is just a sack with holes punched into it. That's ours. But they're learning so much like revisionist history. It's crazy what they're learning and then what they're like getting told. Like they were doing like explorers like Columbus, Ponce de Leon, and really all their essays were more on like the atrocities these people committed, not what they contributed. It was all about them like stealing land and killing and things like that. I'm like, the fuck? I mean, I looked at the teacher. I'm like, are you ever like, what are you gonna say about Leif Erikson, that he was a barbarian? It's fucking. I don't know, man. The world is advancing, and it's like I don't want to advance. I want to be in the I want to be in the golden. I want to be in like the silver age of comic books.